Hey.
Hey, hello, hello, hello. What's going on? We are back. Welcome to another episode of Q Points. I am your host, DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J Ray, also known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegate III. What's up, y'all?
Q Points is your visual podcast and safe space for meaningful conversation and dialogue about the global impact of Black music and Black musicians. So welcome back. I see some people have already jumped into the chat because they know the conversation is gonna be popping tonight. But before we even get into any of that, what's going on, J Ray? How are you?
Man, you know what? I'm so good. I almost cursed. So let me tell you what's happening. What's happening is I just came off of a conversation y'all. I just got off of a conversation with Dr. Antonia Randolph and Dr. Mark Anthony Neal and my brother Brian Goings. And we were talking about hip hop, health, and homophobia. And we just had a dope dialogue about, hip hop history and its impact on our community. In fact, I'm going to put a link in the chat so y'all can go and check it out after Q Points. But I'm feeling really good, man. We had a really good time. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. Congratulations on that podcast. We've been doing a lot this week.
It's been a week.
This week. This has been a week. Outside of work and outside of the podcast, this has been quite a week, but I'm here and I'm ready to talk about tonight's topic. But first, before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our brothers over at the Music is the Key podcast.
Yes.
Just Daryl and Bruce Phillips. J Ray and I had an excellent time on that show the other night. If you have not seen it yet, J Ray's about to put the link in the chat. So you can go ahead and check out what a great time we had. We actually got to play records that meant something to us and talk about any kind of stories that were behind it. Mm-hmm. And it was just a great conversation, a great time to be had. So again, my hat's off and thanks to Daryl and Bruce Phillips over at the Music is the Key podcast. If you're not following them, follow them. Please check out the show.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
So, if you've seen the description, and first of all, I want to say hello to Carlton and A. Maurice. Thank you guys always for checking in. We see you. We appreciate you always tuning in. So, and if you have anything to say about tonight's topic, please drop more comments in the comments section. Mm-hmm. But we call tonight's episode Disappearing Acts because of the practice of artist erasure and how it's been practiced for decades.
Yes.
I'm sure all of y'all have seen the clip of Andrea Martin publicly stating the revelation that she feels that her voice was presented to consumers via radio, I almost said via email, via radio, airplay, video, wax, cassette, and CD without the benefit of vocal and lyrical credit and public acknowledgement. For those who kind of don't know what we're talking about, Andrea Martin dropped a bombshell and says that what we know now as the prominent vocal on the classic, and how old is this song? That song came out
almost
when I
30 years.
And I've been almost dated myself, but that song has been out as long as I've been out of high school. Mm-hmm. I remember that song coming out when I graduated high school. That song has been out for 30 years, but she dropped the bombshell that it is her vocals prominently featured on what we know as Show Me Love by Robin S.
Yes.
So first and foremost, J Ray, what was your immediate reaction? Because I sent you the link. I was like, please look at this now. Look at this thread.
So what's bananas, right, is you sent me the link. And of course, the person who posted it said, you gotta read the thread because I can't do the whole thing. Because I was already like, I can't open this. I've been having a week of not being able to open stuff. So I was already stressed out. And I was like, I can't open this. And I whatever. Okay, let me take a step back. we know, like, as music people, DJ Sir Daniel and I know who Andrea Martin is. First of all, Andrea Martin had, an album out, late 90s, early 2000s. Ivan and Andrea were like a writing duo. Like, so Andrea Martin has been around the industry for a very long time. And so when I watched this clip, and literally what was like, oh crap, she sang the opening note pitch perfect. And I was like, oh, and so what I did immediately was I was like, but wait, I've seen Robin S. sing. Like, Robin S. sings. Robin S. does sing. But when you go back to that Apollo performance, it's like, it's very close, but it's not the vocal on the record. This is no shade to Robin S. Robin S. will sing down. And Robin S. sings that song. Every live version of that song that you've heard, Robin S. has sang it. Andrea Martin's conversation is, the version you hear on the record, that ain't her. That's me. See?
Right. and so the practice, I'm sure you may have heard and you may not have heard. So when songwriters put pen to paper and compose a song, sometimes they lay down what is called a reference track or a demo
vocal
for the star artist that is supposed to record this particular song. Or sometimes production companies, made of producers and songwriters, people that play instruments. If they have an idea for a song, they come up for a song and they just need a vocalist to lay down the scratch track, the demo track for them. They reach out to industry professionals like Andrea Martin. There are people, remember that conversation we had about background vocals?
Absolutely.
Vocalists, those are the people that they reach out to. People who've been in the game, who are known throughout the industry, they reach out to them and say, hey, Luther, can you lay down this demo for me? Hey, Sissy Houston, can you lay down this demo for me? We're going to send it off to Diana Ross. I'm just pulling out names. So Andrea Martin was approached by the production company, the producers of Show Me Love, and was paid $300.
$300. And let me tell you, that $300 was like, because they also said to her, hey, if you could fill in some lyrics here, if you can make this song, because what they had was a melody. Songwriters or some have like, they know it needs to be something, but they don't have the something. So she was like, if you can make this into something, you'll get a little bit more. And that's what happened.
And that's what happened. She went in there, she started going off the dome for us freestylers, or people that like the freestyle. And with her lyrics that we are still singing to this day.
Heartbreaks and promises.
All of that. And she just dropped the bombshell like, hey, they never even bothered to take me completely out and have the person that they wanted to sing this song. And so I wasn't surprised, because this has happened before, and this has brought up this conversation again. Like, artist erasure is a thing, especially when it comes to Black women. Like, you said you weren't surprised by the news. You weren't surprised by the news because this has happened before. I think we're all well too versed in the saga of Martha Wash, and how her voice was used several times without the credit, and then somebody else was brought in to mimic her voice on performances. J. Ray, break it down for them.
Bruh. Okay, so I'm sure all of you, if you are music heads and watching this show, you're probably familiar with the story of Martha Wash, but there may be some of you who are not. So in the early 1990s, there was a whole period of time, and this is also coinciding with the rise of house music as a genre. House music is really getting its footing in commercial spaces. And so internationally and in the States, you have a lot of producers who are doing things, but to Sir Daniel's point, they need someone to be able to do these vocal tracks, so they could bring someone in, for the artist, right? So they're trying to demo songs to labels, they're trying to demo songs to artists. And one of the people who was able to pay her bills through demo singing was Martha Wash. Martha Wash was, of course, iconic vocalist, sang background for Sylvester, part of the classic Two Tons of Fun, and which became the Weather Girls. And we can talk about the 1982, the one song. There's so many songs, but I don't know if we want to go back to
Raining
Centipede.
Men.
No, I don't know if we want to go back to Centipede.
No, let's bring in Centipede, because I don't think people know that if you listen closely, Michael Jackson hired Martha Wash to fill in vocals on his sister Rebe Jackson's biggest hit, Centipede.
Yeah.
So if you listen closely, you can hear Martha Wash all up and through that joint.
Yeah, that whole vamp section, you hear Martha, like, literally, yeah, and Carlton just mentioned it. The holler is Martha Wash. So, like I said, singers have to pay bills. So Martha Wash is background singing, and she is doing demo work in the studio, because it is a classic way for a vocalist who is that good to be able to make steady money. Well, here's the thing. So what ends up happening through this period of time is you have Black Box, you have CNC Music Factory, who release these big dance records. These things become huge, gonna make you sweat, and everybody strike it up. These joints is everywhere in 91 and 92. But what we didn't realize, I mean, I'm sure some people at the time realized, I was too young to realize it until it was like a thing, was like, oh, the singer, the person who's in front miming and mimicking and dancing isn't the person who's singing the song. So in the CNC Music Factory, of course, you have Zelma Davis. I believe it's Zelma Davis, not Zelma Williams. Yeah. It's Zelma Davis, and Zelma can sing. And Martha even said that, like, Zelma can sing. So it's like, but that's not Zelma's voice on Gonna Make You Sweat. And then, of course, there was a model hired for Black Box. So Martha Wash brought this to light through lawsuits, and literally had to fight to get her name and her credit for this work. And this is in the early 90s. This is at that top of the decade. It actually kind of changed the way Black folks made music after that time. So we came out of the lip syncing with Milli Vanilli. We come into Martha Wash, and literally everybody's changing, and where, baby, you had to sing live. Like, everybody was forced to have to perform live for a period of time.
I think that's the point that was made in the Boyz II Men documentary on Netflix. Was that's a great point, Carlton. But in the Boyz II Men documentary, they stated that the reason why everybody, like a Boyz II Men or En Vogue or Color Me Bad, all of those groups had to do like a acapella block before they started going and singing into their song, is because the audience was like, look, you not fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. With these people, these pretty people out here singing these songs. And so, as Carlson just mentioned in the chat, Good Vibrations was actually a sample of Lolita Holloway from her original song. And I think at first she probably wasn't credited, she wasn't in the video or anything, but they were doing a lot of that in the 90s, because let's talk about this. Black women, if you don't feel a certain mode, if you don't look a certain way, 9 times out of 10, they wanted the voice, but they didn't want the body. Let's look at this. Martha Wash is a plus size woman. Yes. Okay, she was a plus size woman, and they figured this is the MTV era.
This is the MTV era.
This is the music videos. Everything is about visuals. Visuals are being pushed. No more blank sleeves on the album covers anymore. This is being pushed. So that's why Martha Wash, they were like, okay, we love the voice, but we don't want her image being a part of this package that we're presenting to the consumers. And of course they deny it,
Mm-hmm.
all the producers behind that, but it's a practice that's, that's continuously done. And black women's images, if y'all have noticed, when I think about Kelly Price, if
Mm-hmm.
you look at her first album, women of a certain size, plus
This
size women, they do very
they
tight
very
shots of their face. They
mm-hmm.
don't show anything below the neck
Mm-mm.
because if they're a full figured woman, they just want to show you what's going on from the neck up.
Yep.
They did the same thing, and I mentioned this the other night with L.A. Star, a rapper
Mm-hmm.
from the '90s. Her album cover, her face is showing, but it's the cut is blued out, like the
Mm-hmm.
color is changed. Nikki D, first female rapper on Def
Covered
Jam,
like
on her album cover, she's got a hat
hat
pulled all the way
all the
down
way
over her,
down. All the
on the side.
way.
So they do all these different things to to mask how much like full figured women or unconventional, unconventionally pretty
Mm-hmm.
people are being treated in the music industry and how they're being packaged and presented to the consumer.
Absolutely, and this is actually an issue as old as music itself. So, just sticking with Milli Vanilli for a second. So there were two vocalists that sang, "Girl, you know it's true," all the stuff, the Milli Vanilli record.
Yeah.
That guy Frank Farian had done that same thing in the '70s. What is it? Oh shoot, I'm going to blank on the name of the group, but
I'm
there
gonna
was a
look it up.
group. It was fronted by a guy, and it had three women. This is a black man and three black women. Were part of this group, but essentially it was all Frank Farian's voice, and the lead guy was just a prop, and this Frank Farian basically took that same formula and applied it to Milli Vanilli, where you have these kind of behind the scenes singers, these and I believe they were two black men, also plus size black men, singing this song,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an old trick,
Are you talking
and
about Boney M?
Boney M. Boney. Okay, so watching Boney M videos are hilarious. Go watch them if you've never seen them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Carlton, yes, the front guy had an afro with a part in his head. That was Boney M, and that was the same guy who did Milli Vanilli, the producer Frank Farian. So old issue, and it is one that I think as consumers we've let folks get away with. And we've
Yeah.
let folks get away with this. And I'm glad that Andrea Martin has brought this up again, because it's a reminder that as consumers, we get to make choices. We get to make
Absolutely.
choices about the artists that we support. And yeah, the Show Me Love thing, it didn't surprise me because I know the industry, but I feel like I'm informed. Sir Daniel, we feel like we're informed.
Right, yeah. Like we know, yeah, we're
We
up
know
on
things.
game. We
Yeah, and
know
then I was
people.
like, I didn't know that.
Huh. Then I think what hammered the nail in, the nail on the head, was when she opened up her mouth and she just sang it right then and there, and it was just undeniable. It was like, yeah, that was your song. That was definitely your song. And yes, Kipper, we agree. Andrea Martin, like if you run down her
Run
resume,
down her resume. You gotta be
hold up,
running down Andrea Martin's
let
resume.
yes, thank you, Kipper Jones, because Kipper Jones, we reference him all the time. A great
Yeah.
friend of ours and an industry insider himself,
Yes.
dope producer, singer songwriter himself. Andrea Martin has written a lot of your favorite songs.
Run them down.
I love me some him.
I'll
Monica's
never
before.
love this way again.
There you go. Monica's before you walk out my life. And Angie Stone's I wish I didn't miss you so much. And Vogue's monster hit Don't Let Go Love from the Set It Off soundtrack. SWV's You're the One for Me, the biggest side chick song ever. Like Andrea Martin is that chick. And then I think it was Daryl broke it down for us that she's actually playing bass
Mm-hmm.
on one of Outkast's biggest hits.
Yep.
Which one was it?
Oh, I can't remember which one it was, but he did mention that. It was like, no, that's Andrea Martin on the bass.
So not only is she writing the lyrics to your songs, but sis is like is slapping the bass too. So it's about time that she gets her credit because she's a name that we've heard throughout the industry for years. But J Ray, check this out. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run down a list of a few other times where demo tracks have just gotten released to the public and not really credited.
Right.
So, all right. So the first one, of course, Jennifer Lopez, and
There's so many songs.
so many songs. Now, the first three are her. So Jennifer Lopez, I believe on the Play song, that's actually Christina Milian
Right.
singing the actual demo for that song because I believe she wrote it as
Mm-hmm.
well. Uh, of course, Ashanti
Mm-hmm.
is wrote one of J Lo's songs as well, and it's actually Ain't It Funny? That's the
Yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't It Funny? And you can
And I think
hear
Love Don't Cost a
Ashanti.
Thing too, maybe. I don't know. There's so many.
Love Don't Cost a Thing. Yeah, that's a Christina Milian
Okay.
song also. And Natasha Ramos, I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
familiar with her, but
Jenny
she's
from the
singing
Block, right?
she's singing Jenny from the Block.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are y'all ready for this one? So TLC, their monster hit No Scrubs. Well, it's Deborah Killings.
Who's an amazing bass player. And Kipper was actually, he just said the thing. He was like,
Okay.
no, that was Deborah Killings, definitely on bass, not Andrea
Okay.
Martin. So yes, Deborah Killings, yeah.
But Deborah, look at that. Deborah Killings' name is already in the atmosphere. So Deborah Killings is actually the predominant vocal that you hear on TLC's biggest hit, No Scrubs.
Wow.
And Deborah Killings, if you look at TLC's credits, she's
Everywhere.
all
over them.
their discography, and a lot of and LaFace for that matter.
Yeah.
Deborah Killings has a lot of work on LaFace's projects. And let's see, who else do we have here? So Nicki Minaj, who is in the news right now for for other reasons,
Dear God in heaven.
her music, but we're not even gonna
No.
go there. We're not gonna go there right now. But Nicki Minaj's her first huge hit, Super Bass, was actually written, and the vocals that you hear in the background are Esther Dean.
I did
And
not
Esther Dean-
know that.
And we all know Esther Dean is a songwriting beast, and a singer. So that's her vocals on Nicki Minaj's Super Bass, and she wrote that as well. Let's see. Oh, I got one more. Oh, no, that was it.
No.
Esther Dean.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty certain there's more people that have done this, but those are the ones that I know that you've heard about, our listeners and watchers. Carlson brings up Alicia Keith.
Lisa Keith. Yes, that is a name that you would hear a lot, yes, during the Flight Time era. So yeah, y'all, like this is and so I think the conversation, and Sir Daniel, you were leading into this as we were talking about Martha Wash. It is the video era ushered in a need to, there were certain images that labels and folks wanted to promote. And it really, truly, it affected these artists. If you weren't the type of conventional look that they were going for, they kind of stripped these people of an opportunity to really be able to continue to build their careers more publicly. Now, I think all of these folks that we've listed have careers that they've been able to establish because they're that good, right? But what would it have meant if these folks were able to be visible out front and people recognizing them as the artists that kind of fronted these songs? I think we could have been able to, I think we would be having different conversations about what's considered beautiful, exceptional, if we had let the artists who did this work be the people that they were.
I mean, is it not a form of racism?
Oh, I absolutely believe it's a form of racism. Yeah, I think it's all coming from, because just think about the artists that were put out front. so let's just take Black Box and CNC Music Factory for, and no shade to Zelma, because Zelma sings, right? And Zelma was kind of put into that position as well. But but I think these folks fit into what was considered a traditional mold. They were all slim and, and able to do a lot of these things. You go back and watch these videos, they fit the same mold. And so yeah, I do think it comes down to what labels and what white folks at that time thought was the thing. And Kipper said it best: racism, ageism, and lookism.
Absolutely.
It was all of that.
Absolutely. And so my head is down because I'm trying to get her whole name. But this didn't just only happen in house music or R&B. So a little, if anybody is familiar, and hey, Wani Love It, thank you for joining the show tonight, and I'm glad you're learning a lot. If we all remember, her name is Elise Jack. That's right. If we all remember the mega hip hop hit Roxanne.
Oh, this was fascinating. Go.
Yeah. So Roxanne, mega rap song hit in 1984, released by UTFO. And the plan, UTFO were the rappers, and the song is produced by Full Force, which that's a whole nother conversation about how much elbow grease Full Force has put into the music industry.
No doubt.
As a production group and a singing group. But anyway, so let's get back to Roxanne. So the plan is that because Roxanne has become so huge, Full Force and UTFO were on their way to making a response record. They said, we're going to put out our own response record to our own record, because they saw that was a thing in hip hop. Battling was a thing, and so that means battling on wax. Let's make all the money and do it all in-house, create our own phenomenal record, Roxanne, and then we're going to have our own response record by a woman. And so if you've ever heard the Roxanne answer, the first rapper, her name is Elise Jack. If you listen to it, and you have to be if you're really into rap music and have heard heard Roxanne, you've heard Elise Jack's voice on the response to the real Roxanne. What had happened is that Roxanne Shante beat them to the punch and dropped her own response to Roxanne. So that made them hurry up and put out the record. And back then, they were putting out 12-inch records and didn't take any photographs of the person, the vocalist, or anything. So they released that. But by the time they were getting ready to do the video for Roxanne, they auditioned girls to be
Roxanne,
the real Roxanne. And that's where we get, and I don't know if you can see her over my head, that's when you get Joanne Martinez, who we all have come to know as the real Roxanne, who actually got to do videos and got 2 album releases as the real Roxanne. But that is not her voice. That is not her rapping on the original response to UTFO, produced by Full Force. So yes, so that there's a little erasure there. We want somebody pretty. We want somebody marketable. They said so themselves. They were like, we want a pretty Puerto Rican girl, to be the face of Roxanne, and that's how. Yes, Lou George.
Oh wow! Hey there, Lou. Hey there, Lou. At least Jack was the original real Roxanne. Joanne was second. Thanks for that. History right from who?
Wait, is that who I think it is?
Yes, I believe so.
Wait, is that Bow-Legged Lou?
I believe so.
Yo. Wait, Kipper, did you do this? I'm on the spot. We're on the spot right now.
Oh my God, that is, and unfortunately we don't have a way to bring you in. Oh my God. Man. I do.
Listen.
Yeah.
We just said we need to talk about the full force of full force on music.
We literally
Please,
just said that.
Bow-legged Lou.
We need you to
Please.
come back.
We need you to come back.
I'm like, wait, wait.
What is happening right now?
Okay.
What is happening right now? Okay.
We listen. This is why Loop 2 points happens. Kipper, thank you. Kipper.
Please do that for us, Kipper.
We'll be
work that out. We will be in contact. Mr. Lou, please. We are wait a minute.
We're fanboying out over here.
And we were just talking the other night on Music is the Key.
We was just talking about Full Force.
Just Daryl pulled a Full Force record and played it. And we were talking about the impact that Full Force had on freestyle music.
Yes.
R&B and production and R&B and rap music. Wow. Mr. George. Lou George. Okay. All right.
Yes, we back.
Yes. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much.
We would love to talk to you some more.
Yes.
Wow. That just happened. So
I'm looking at the chat like, this is going to be a clip. Okay. He's saying
they never said, okay. All right. So
we're going to put that on the screen right now.
He said that they never said they wanted a pretty Puerto Rican girl. So we'll talk about that. Hopefully you will join us some more for another episode, and we could talk about everything that's the whole history of Full Force and your impact on music, because that would be amazing. Yes. That would be amazing.
And thank you for correcting this history. That is incredibly important, right? Because these stories travel. Yeah. Thank you so much. We will absolutely have you on. We definitely want to hear this.
Absolutely.
Because we get this stuff and it travels through the ether, and I'm so glad. Oh, the internet is amazing that we get a chance to correct history right here. So this is great. Thank you so much.
But I did say that with regard to the story that we started off with Andrea Martin, I am so glad that these stories are being told now, especially by the people who actually were there and who did it.
Yeah.
And so this is this is exactly why we do
this is exactly
why we do Coup Points. Wow. Yes, indeed. I am that really, whoa, that's so cool. That is so cool.
It is. And for the folks that are watching as well, one of the things I definitely want you to remember is, as you go back, I'm sure there are others, because Sir Daniel, you kind of mentioned this as well. I'm sure there are other instances where this happened, and you could probably pull them out. You know what I'm saying? Because folks' voices, what folks were kind of playing in what camps. And I would be really curious to know, what are some of the songs? This actually might be a question of the week. What are some of the songs that you love that are sung or performed by people other than the people who might have been promoted as such? I'm really curious, because I'm sure there's a lot of them that are out there. I know I have at least 2 that are kind of dope joints.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm thinking of, so definitely when the CNC Music Factory was kind of doing their thing, I think, actually I would probably go to Black Box more like first, because the Everybody and was like just a joint to me. That's a joint right now that if you played it, I would still like go off. You know what I'm saying?
I think I have it back there.
Yeah. I would go off. So thank you. We will be in touch. Thank you so much, Mr. George. I'm curious to know what other joints that folks think about. And you blew my mind. I didn't know about the Nicki and the Esther Dean thing. Like, that was
wow.
And that's
I
recent.
think that's recent. I think that was pretty well known. Like, Esther Dean has been on countless shows, and that's her part of her resume is that she's written a lot of those songs and has done background vocals. But like you said, that's how a lot of writers, songwriters, that's how they get their scratch. Yeah. That's how they make their money, because they're not necessarily out front and aren't necessarily the ones that want to be the ones up front, but because they have the talent.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back again to the whole discussion about what what corporations think is marketable. And I think it's so
Absolutely.
funny when they think about they're trying to figure out what's marketable to black people
Hmm.
when it comes to music made by black people. I
Right.
always found that amazing. That let's tell you what you want to see.
Right. Well, you know what ends up happening? We talked about this before, I think, on Q Points, where, we will come up with something to make it dope. They'll like take it and then they'll sell it back to us. And you'll be like, wait, like that came from down the street. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That came from
We
here.
we can go to any church on Sunday morning and hear a Martha Wash in our choirs.
Wearing us
Right.
out.
Anything. Wearing this out any day of the week. So I just find that hilarious that's part of the reason that this goes on. And then you have these I think that propagated the whole TV reality shows about finding the next big star.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Is because they figure that talent can be manufactured, talent can be packaged and given to you because you don't know what you need. We know what you want. And so here's what we're going to do is we're going to have these nationwide talent searches and let you pick the person. You think you're going to pick the person, but I really do believe that a lot of times labels and the corporations behind these shows are the ones that actually pick who they want to be stars.
Oh, I am 100% sure that that is what the case is. Like, folks, and we've kind of talked about this on Q Points as well too. There are certain things that it might be a little different now because everything is kind of more distributed. But when we start talking about like big folks, there are still a level of selection that goes into all of these things. Like, I can work with this person, they have the look that I want, they have the sound that I want, and I can get them to the next place. I was saying to somebody, I think it was here, where when I worked in the studio, you would have these people that would be coming in, baby, you want to talk about talent? These people would come in and like, oh my God, this person is talented. But you could also almost peg it like, they talented, but they don't, but I don't know if they're going to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? Because there's
Do
like,
they have it?
do they have it? They didn't have it. And there's so much of an attitude that comes with it that I would say, and Kipper could probably speak to this as well, more accurately than I ever could. But there is a certain thing that you almost can't put your finger on that certain people just have.
Yeah.
And so it's not just about the talent; it's about this other thing that they are able, the energy, the attitude, the whatever. But it's like it's the it.
The it factor. And it's funny. So Carlson just brought up how they've slimmed down Jennifer Hudson. And shout out to Jennifer Hudson. Earlier this week was her 40th birthday.
Congratulations,
So
Miss
Team
Hudson.
Virgo, Miss her. So on her birthday, I think it was either her or somebody released a clip of her audition on American Idol. And you can clearly see the judges really don't see it for her, especially when they found out that she was singing on cruise ships. And so you can tell it's so blatant. She was thicker, she was younger, she wasn't as polished. She's not the polished Jennifer Hudson that we know today. Y'all can go look on YouTube and see her audition for yourself. And the judges were kind of like, so you really think you have what it takes to be a superstar? They kept asking her time and time again, you really believe that you're the one that could win this?
Wow.
You really think you got it? But emphatically, she answered yes every single time. And to her credit, it's been a climb, but she's there.
Oh, she's there.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah. She's a star.
absolutely there. She's almost an EGOT.
Yeah.
Because I think she just got an Emmy, right?
Yeah, I know she's one award away. I don't know which one is the one that's not there.
She hasn't gotten a Tony yet.
She probably hasn't
'Cause
gotten a Tony.
So I believe she just got an Emmy. She won an Emmy. She's got the Grammy.
She got
Definitely an Oscar. Homegirl is almost on her way to a to becoming an EGOT
Listen.
after being questioned about her validity as a superstar on
Mm,
national television. How about that?
how about that? Listen,
Ain't that something?
I'm so glad we got a chance to discuss this and kind of lift these folks up. I support Andrea Martin and what she's doing. I
Whatever she's doing.
absolutely do. Like, yeah, I'm actually gonna go and pull out her record because it's been a long time since I played that record, and I'm gonna look it up and see if I can get it.
I think the first thing I ever heard Andrea Martin on that she was credited as a vocalist. If do y'all remember the Rush Hour soundtrack, Little Kim's Money Talk song.
Uh huh.
Money Talks featuring Little Kim and Little C's,
Mm-hmm.
and Andrea Martin is singing the hook. And I think that's the very first time I became aware of her. And she, her voice is um, definitely special and unique.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was the first time I ever heard her. Then, do you recall a special that ran on BET? And it was like all the women of, it was like an Arista push for their artists. It was Andrea Martin, Monica, Faith Evans, and
Hmm.
someone else. I'm blanking out on the other person that was on Arista. If anybody can remembers out there, it was a show on. It was like this special event show that they put together on BET with Arista, and it had all the large black female artists that they had. Was No, I don't think Kelly was on that show. But yeah,
Interesting.
so I remember Andrea Martin because she was singing because it was around the time that her solo album
Yeah.
had been released.
Yeah.
So they showcased her, they showcased Monica, they showcased Faith Evans, and there was somebody else added on that show. I cannot remember right now,
Yeah, we'll
but
drop it on our socials if we find it too, because we might be able to find a clip. That would be cool for the Q Point socials.
so this has been. I'm completely floored by what happened on this show tonight.
Kipper Jones, Kipper Jones, thank you so much for tagging Mr. George. I was serious. I was looking at the thing. I'm like, this person knows things, and I think this is who I think it is.
All I saw was Lou,
Lou, and I'm
and
like,
I was like, "Wait a
could
minute,"
it be
as in
Lou?
as in bow legged, and the comment said, "We did
Yeah,
not." I was like,
yes,
"Oh, word, that's bow legged Lou, the bow legged Lou." So anyway, guys, um, Deborah Cox. Deborah Cox was the other person.
hmm
Yes, it's called Girls R&B Ladies collaboration on BET. Yeah, so Deborah Cox was the other artist featured in this BET special. Yeah, it's called Girls Night Out, a TV special in 1999, featuring Monica, Deborah Cox, Faith Evans, Shanice, I forgot about
yes.
Shanice, and Andrea Martin. It's on YouTube if you guys want to check that out.
Cool
Um,
beans. This has
J
been
Ray, you got
amazing.
anything coming up
What
this
do I have?
weekend?
This weekend. What do I have coming up? What do I have? So here's the stuff that I do. I do have stuff coming up. So on next week, y'all should come on over to Revolutionary Health. That's our CNP show, Revolutionary Health. Come on over there. We're going to be talking about HIV decriminalization. You can come be a part of that conversation. That's going to be super, super cool. So that's kind of the main thing that I have coming up. What do you have coming up this weekend? Are you spending this weekend?
This Sunday, I have the joy and the pleasure because it's always fun
Mm-hmm.
of spinning for the 16th installment and the final installment for this 2021 season of Vinyl and Vibes. It's going down in the East Atlanta Village at the I Lounge, which is hold on, let me give you all the information. I should have had this ready for you guys, but there's so much going on tonight. But I Lounge is in the East Atlanta Village here in Atlanta. And yeah, I'm on a super duper lineup with some like phenomenal DJs. We're all spinning vinyl. We are there to have fun. The lineup includes Peppermint Gaddy. Um, who else? Uh, DJ Nervex, Ross Sirius,
Yeah.
Calissimo, um, who else? Peppermint Gaddy. I said that. Beats and Blends is going to be on deck. And on the Serato desk. So here's the fun thing about Vinyl and Vibes. What Johnny Dynamite has done is that he gets I guess the DJs that spin vinyl, and he also likes to peg the younger DJs that only spin Serato. And
Nice.
in between vinyl sets, he has a DJ on the Serato desk.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so they're able to rock the crowd in between vinyl DJ sets. So on the Serato desk is going to be Ebony ATL and Nephew. It's a free event. It's this Sunday. The doors open at 6 o'clock. iLounge again is located at 1287 Glenwood Avenue Southeast in Atlanta. If you are here Sunday night, it's a great way to end the weekend. They got hookahs on deck for those of you who like hookahs. There'll be other vendors there, including JB's Record Lounge and there's food vendors as well. Ash Boogie is going to be doing art. Like she's a painter and she paints while the DJs are playing. And
Nice.
at the end of the night, you can purchase whatever she's painted right then and there. And yeah, Mouthfeel Culinary is going to be there feeding us. You can
Nice.
purchase food. It's going to be a full evening. You'd be surprised how much stuff and people can be packed up in our lounge.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it, but we can get it up in there.
And the
There's a
link is
lot of
in the
people up
chat.
in there.
So I dropped the link in the chat so that folks can
Perfect.
come and y'all make sure that you visit the website and become a Q Points insider.
Yes,
I'm gonna put the link right
please.
up here in the chat. Um I'm going to do also, we got a survey. Please complete the survey. We have a question as we continue to build the future. If you go to QP Survey 1, that is much better than the link I had before. Go to qpnt.net/QP Survey 1. Complete that survey. It'll help us to be able to do our stuff for the future. What's your favorite full force? I want to know what people's favorite full force joints are. I think that's our question of the week. Oh, I don't think we can answer that, but as we get
Nah.
ready to have a conversation with Mr. George, Bowlegged Lou, oh my God, we should bring to them what folks' favorite full force joint is. So, our question of the
Think
week.
about that.
Think about that.
What,
I'm going to actually put the link here. Send us the video. QPNT .net/. Hold on. No, Carlton, you got to put it on the video. Man.
Put it on the video. Yes, we
Here
want
it
to see
is.
your
It's in
video
the chat.
responses.
We want to see your video responses.
What your
To
favorite full force song
what is
is,
your
and
favorite full force song?
it doesn't have to be sung by Full Force.
No, it can be
It can
produced by Full
by
Force.
Full Force. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Full Force
all of
song.
that. It's
Drop
gonna
it,
be
drop it,
interesting.
drop it.
Wow. You guys see, it pays to watch Q Points every week. You never know what's going to happen. You absolutely never know what's going to happen. Listen, kids, what do I say every week? In life, you have a choice. You can either pick the needle up or you can let the record play. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next week for another episode of Q Points. I'm DJ Sir Daniel.
I am J Ray. Peace.
Thank you. Have a good night.